Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Di, and today I'm sharing with you my diary entry for the week of September 28th through October 5th. Today is Saturday, October 5th. So this week was my first week back to work, and I have not finished a book this week. I thought I was going to be able to, but being back at the office just kind of really wiped me out, both emotionally and mentally, and probably physically. And so I just wasn't able to finish a book this week. So for the first time, I'm not going to be able to wrap up anything for you. But I am still in the middle of 2 books, so I'll let you know where I am with those. I started a new cast on, so I'll talk to you a little bit about that. And then I have a weekly yarn countdown to Halloween box that I received, and so I will show you that as well. So there'll be a little bit of stuff to share with you today, so let's get into it. So like I said, I didn't finish any books this week, but I am still in the middle of the same 2 books I was last week, so I am almost done. I've got like an hour left of New Moon by Stephanie Meyer. This is the second book in the Twilight saga. This traditionally is not my favorite, and this one normally rates lower than Twilight for me. So far it's okay. I'm still really enjoying like my revisit of this series, and so that's good. And so yeah, I'm just really enjoying listening to it, and it's a nice mindless type of read. It's perfect for the season, and I'm glad that I decided to go ahead and reread this series. So should finish New Moon this week, and when I do, I will probably go straight into Eclipse and just back to back read this series. I don't know if I will listen to Eclipse or if I will try to start reading that one physically, because there's a read along that I kind of want to get in on, and I'll get into that after I talk to you about the other book that I'm currently reading. But that one I definitely have access to an audiobook copy. I'm not quite sure if I have access to an ebook copy through my library. I'll need to check on that, but I know I have access to the audiobook, so I may start that one next and physically read Eclipse, but we'll see what I'm feeling like when I get to that. So the other book that I'm currently reading is the first book in the Ashport Archives. This is Search for the Phoenix by Stephanie A. Gillis, who has a booktube channel under the name of Quardy, Qwordy. This is really enjoyable. I am enjoying this one a lot. I just cannot keep my eyes open at the end of the day to read this one. So I am currently on page 120. Super enjoyable read. It has your like supernatural creatures like vampires and werewolves, and then you've also got fantastical creatures like elves, and there's a lot of different types of magics. And you know, our main character is kind of grappling with the fact that this world even exists, let alone what her family does. And now that she's kind of been thrown into it, it's just kind of really hard for her, and I'm really enjoying watching her decide whether or not she wants to be a part of this world, realizing why certain things had taken place in her life previously, why people were acting certain ways, and just really enjoying all of the characters as well. And I'm finding that the writing style is very, very easy to get into. It's very enjoyable story to read, and I'm looking forward to continuing with this one. And so I have about half left, I think, and I should be able to finish it this week. I should. So hopefully I'll be done with that, and then we'll see where I'm at, whether I'm going to physically read the read-along book or if I'm going to physically read Eclipse. But I feel like those 2 books are going to be the next 2 books that I have on my plate. So yes, really enjoying this one, and I'm definitely going to have to purchase the next one because It did take a while for me to get this one because it's an indie pub book. And they had originally sent me a book that I didn't even order the first time. So, yes, enjoying this a lot. I will probably also go ahead and purchase the audiobook copy because I am enjoying that book enough that I feel like having the audiobook will just be that extra layer of enjoyment when I do decide to reread this series, because I do think that there is enough there that I probably will pick up on reread, because that always happens, right? And I feel like having the author narrate back to me her story is really going to add another level of enjoyment as well. So really enjoying that one. Should hopefully finish those 2 books in the coming week. So let's get into my Yarnie update. So I did start a new cast on. I had the perfect bag for it. This is my Hocus Pocus bag, I Smell Children, from Utterly Adorable Knits. I've talked about them a lot on this channel. This, I believe, is the medium-sized project bag. I have a little button here that says Honorary Sanderson Sister on it. And that I got from Night Owl Fibers. I had ordered their Halloween, like 3 skein Halloween set a couple years ago. And so we got a skein like August, September, and October, I believe. And one of the colorways was a Sanderson Sisters colorway, or a Hocus Pocus colorway, which I haven't knit up yet, but it's waiting. But it came with little goodies, and one of the goodies was this pin. And so since I had this bag, I thought, I'm just going to tack it on there, right? And actually, I am wearing my Hocus Pocus, or one of my Hocus Pocus shirts. It just says, it's just a bunch of Hocus Pocus, which I purchased from the Disney online shop. And so, yeah, got all decked up for Halloween with my Halloween makeup, because you know how I like to wear a little bit more Halloween type colors during the month. I did not put on the lashes though, because I was a bit lazy today, but got my Halloween makeup on, got my Halloween shirt on. I'm enjoying kind of the vibes of the month. And so in this bag is my cast on, and this actually goes hand in hand with the read along that I was mentioning to you, because this is a read along and a knit along with a pretty new booktube channel called M's Books Are Everywhere. I will link the announcement video for this read along and knit along down in the comments below. But basically, we are reading a book together, and then the objective is to finish a pair of Halloween socks during the month. And so I have had Halloween yarn to knit for a while. In fact, I've had this particular skein wound up for a very long time, and I just never worked with it. And so I thought, this is the perfect opportunity. Plus, the Bakery Bears, which is a knitting podcast that I am a patron of, are doing their annual Sockoween challenge, which is just a Halloween socks kind of knit along for patrons. And this year she re-released her Incantation sock pattern with an update, and kind of just like updated the formatting to what they currently use now, because the Incantation socks is one of her earlier patterns and they didn't use the formatting of the patterns that they use now. So they updated the look of the pattern. I think there is also a DK weight version of the pattern written up that has been added onto the pattern as well. The Incantation socks is a pattern that I had already bought from the Bakery Bears, but they gave it away as a free patron pattern for Sockoween knit along this month as well. So I got a copy of that through the Patreon program also. And so I thought, I'm just going to go ahead and knit the Incantation socks by Kay Jones at the Bakery Bears podcast. And so the yarn that I'm using is this yarn. This is Witch's Brew from Lolodidit in the Plush Sock base. You might think my skein looks kind of tiny, right? That's because I actually have two skeins. So when I was winding this up into a cake, there was a point in almost the middle of the skein where it was frayed. And so I went ahead and cut it. And I originally thought that I was going to do 2 at a time socks and do 2 at a time socks for the first time. But I never got around to doing it. And so this thing came about and I'm like, you know what, let me just go ahead and use it. And so that's the yarn that I'm using. And I have not done very much at all, but this is what I have so far. So this is what the yarn kind of looks like, again, which is Brew from Lolodidit. And the Incantation socks kind of design, I've done about 3 repeats, and it's kind of columns of eyelets. You kind of can't really see it. The pattern's getting lost in the yarn, but I don't really mind because I really like kind of the look of whatever's going on here from afar. It is kind of pooling and striping the way the Demon Slayer Anime Yarn Club sock yarn did, but yeah, I kind of don't mind that you kind of can't see what's going on with this. I didn't want to make a pair of vanilla socks. I have actually been thinking about this for a while, and I don't think socks are the most enjoyable thing for me to knit. I mean, there's definitely a time and place for them, and I definitely do enjoy knitting a sock from time to time, but I think I have just been knitting sock after sock after sock lately that I'm just a little bit maybe burnt out. But with this knit along and read along, I thought, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and do it. And then maybe I'll have November off and before I start like a Christmas sock or something. But I am really enjoying this colorway. It's super fun. And it's kind of like more pastel-y Halloween type of colors. And I think that's just what's really drawing my attention right now. And so, yeah, this is how much I've done. So hopefully I'll have a nice pair of socks out of this yarn when the month is done. I presume I'll be able to get my pair of socks out of this skein, and then I'll use this skein for the daughters. So I am going to go ahead and put in an alternating heel because I like to do that. And so I do have this. This is a Cascade Heritage. I don't know what the colorway on that is, but I think it'll look really, really nice as a contrast heel and probably toe with this yarn. I haven't decided yet, but I typically like to do contrast heels and toes and not just contrast heels. And so, yeah, that's my plan for that. I actually do have this yarn also, which I don't even remember who this is from, but I had made my daughter a pair of socks out of this one already, and so this is my kind of section of the skein. And this is Witchcraft from Ms. Monster Creations. So I think that's an Etsy store I had bought it from. So yeah, daughter already has a pair of socks in this, and it's really, really nice. I think I did a 3x1 broken rib. And for her socks, I also used this color for the alternating heel and toe. So really, really good. So I have Halloween yarns. Plus, I've got other Halloween yarns I can work on. But this one has been one that I've been thinking about because I knew I already had it caked up. And so, yeah, I'm doing it on a 9-inch circular. And then I have this beginning of round marker, which is just a witch's hat, because that's appropriate for all the things, right? The bag, the yarn, and the season. And I think I got this witch's hat from the Stitching the High Notes shop, which is closed, I think, now, unfortunately. But yes, enjoying this so far. So we'll see how much progress I get done with that by next week. And that's pretty much it for my Yarnie update. Yeah, it's been a week. I didn't even cast on the sock when I was supposed to, because we were supposed to start on the 1st, and I didn't even cast on until the 2nd. And then after I cast on, I didn't touch it for a couple of days. It's just been a week. And so before we get to that, let me share with you another fun thing. I got my Countdown to Halloween box from Fangirl Fibers. This is a weekly countdown. And they're full skeins, I believe. But you will see that the theme of this weekly countdown is Twilight. So she had offered a Twilight weekly countdown, and I thought, you know what, let me go ahead. And it actually slipped my mind. Like, I knew I had a countdown to Halloween coming, but for whatever reason, I had completely forgot that it was Twilight themed. So me rereading Twilight right now had nothing to do with the fact that I was getting this, though it connects really well. So anyway, this is every Thursday, and I figured I'd just open it up with you on Saturday, since that's when I film. And so I got the skeins on her Sparkle Fingering Base because, of course, I call it the Skin of a Killer Base, which she should have called it that too, don't you think? It only made sense to get Twilight-inspired yarn on Skin of a Killer Base. And so that's what I got. So I've got 4 or 5 of these packages in here. And it also came with some goodies, as most countdown type boxes do come with. And so I got a pair of little snips, which are always good to have on hand. We have a sticker that says, "This is the skein of a killer, Bella." We have a Fangirl Fiber sticker. We have some wooden stitch markers. So you can see right there, that's Edward Cullen. There's this one that says City of Forks. There's this one that says How You Liking the Rain, Girl, which is a line from the movie. So, like, I'm pretty sure this is inspired by the movie and not the books. It's La Push, baby, La Push. And this is the Skin of a Killer, Bella. So I'm super excited to have those. So those are my Twilight-inspired progress keepers and stitch markers. And then we got a bag. And the bag is a little drawstring bag that says Forks, established in 1945, Washington. So that's so fun. And so let's go ahead and open my first skein for my yarn countdown. So this is for October 3rd. I'm pretty sure this is just 5 full skeins of yarn. We did get mood boards, but you never know what it's going to look like, right? And already, right after opening, is really, really nice. Oh my goodness, this is a gorgeous skein. So it says the Twilight Collection. Fangirl Fibers, 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 5% stellina. Fingering weight, 437 yards, 100 grams. And this skein is called Don't Hate the Truck. Oh my gosh. That is gorgeous. It's got like your deep crimsons and the grays, but there's also a deep teal. Really, really love that. Oh, so good. And the sparkle is just barely there. I feel like the sparkle in this is pretty muted. It's not like super sparkly, but it might just be the way the yarn is kind of schemed up. But this is gorgeous. Oh, very, very happy with that. So I'm looking forward to seeing the other skeins in this collection. Based on the mood boards, I don't think I'm going to be able to use more than 3 of the skeins in a project together, because I feel like 3 of the mood boards went really well together and then 2 of the mood boards did not. But we will see. I don't even remember what the mood boards look like at this point because I pre-ordered them a long time ago. But yes, very happy with that. And I'm looking forward to next week's skein already. So that is my first skein, Don't Hate the Truck. And so yeah, that's kind of pretty much all I've got for this week. I did mention a few months ago, I think, that I ordered a advent calendar for Christmas time, and I just got shipping notification, and so that's on its way to me. It's coming from the UK, so that's going to be very different for me because most of everything else that I've purchased has come from America. And so I'm getting an advent calendar from the UK this year. It is a theme that I absolutely had to have because it is one of my most favorite Christmas movies. And so I'm looking forward to sharing that with you in December. But for right now, we've got our Twilight Halloween countdown, and I'm so far really, really enjoying it. And so I guess that brings me around to how this week went for me. So as far as the job goes, nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. Nobody's talked to me about the new position at all, whether or not I got it. And I'm kind of at that point now where I'm like, it's probably better that I don't change positions. Because the more I thought about it, the more cons I thought of than pros. And I think that tells me that moving to the new position was not going to be a good thing. But you know what? I don't know. They could just be delayed on their decision about moving forward with this department. I have no idea. But I'm just trucking along like I did before I left. The only difference is that I'm no longer salaried. I am hourly. That was a change that needed to be made due to some laws or whatever, and it's been really difficult. That transition has been really difficult because I can no longer work the hours that I had worked prior. Having to ask for permission for overtime has been a bit of a beast, and nobody is responding to me, so I have not been able to put in the hours that I normally do, which means some of the work has to be put off to next day or the next week. And so communication is just not there with this whole transition between upper management and the employees that have been moved from salaried to hourly. And there are a lot of us that have been changed. It's not just me. There have been a lot of people whose titles had to be changed and moved from salary to hourly. And it's been interesting. It's been interesting. I'm not sure this is going to work. And I also don't know why the new position would be salaried versus what I'm currently doing being hourly, because it seems like they'd be doing less work than I do now. So what's the difference? Is it that they're doing less work that they can be salaried? I don't understand. It doesn't make sense to me, because if you're going to do less work and pay more, how does that mean that they're salaried? So I don't know. I don't know how any of this works, but as far as I know, that new department has not gone live. I have not seen an official announcement saying that we currently have a new department or anything like that. So since there's no official announcement, I presume nothing has gone forward with that position, but I could be mistaken. I don't really care at this point. Like I said, the more I thought about it, the more cons I put on my list than pros. And so I'm just trucking along like I normally do, and trying to get back into the rhythm of work after being on vacation for a couple weeks. My next vacation is probably not going to be until Thanksgiving, and even that's going to be different this year because the boss said I can't take as long as I normally do. Even though I have the time to take, he was not going to let me take it. And so, yeah, it still kind of ticks me off. But with everything changing right now, who knows? I may not even be working for the guy that I'm working for come November. Things are just changing all the time now with the company that I work for. And so I just kind of got to take it day by day. But because I have been having to get off relatively around the normal time of my schedule, which that also brings another issue because my scheduled hours have also changed. So now I'm working a half an hour earlier every day than I normally am because nobody's ever told me what my actual hours are. Yeah. So I usually work from 8:30 to 5:30, and that's when all the rest of my coworkers work, as well as, our team. But my schedule says I work 8 to 5. So one of the other things I still have an open question on is, am I working 8 to 5 or 8:30 to 5:30? And so I've been working 8 to 5 this week because nobody's responded to me yet. And so, yeah, or 8 to as close to 5 as possible. Because I also don't have permission to work overtime. And so it's been a shift. But anyway, because I've been getting off closer to 5, as opposed to what I normally get off work at 5:45, 6, 6:15, 6:30, 8:30, 9:30. That's happened this year. I've been able to get a little bit more gameplay in. So I think I mentioned in my last diary entry, which should have been my vacation vlog, that daughter and I are starting a new Animal Crossing challenge, and we are going to post that on our gaming channel. Our first video for that challenge has gone live. So we are participating in the Animal Crossing RPG challenge that was originally created by Nintendo Talk, and we made several edits to it. So it's a heavily edited version of that challenge. We created our own class, we amended some of the rules to match more of our play style, and so our first video on that challenge has gone up on our gaming channel. So if you're interested in watching some Animal Crossing content, or just to see like what we do as far as Animal Crossing goes, I will link our gaming channel down in the description box below. First video is already up. I'm going to try to keep posting every Saturday videos for that challenge. We will see. We recorded our second video for the challenge yesterday, and these videos are really, really long. I am editing them. The first video I edited lightly. The second video I'm going to have to edit a lot. And so hopefully it's not going to be as long, but with all the footage we got, I have no idea how long that video is going to be. So it's definitely long form, play with us type of content, but we do narrate, or we converse while we play about things and things like that. The next video should be a villager hunting video, and so villager hunting is always super exciting. And so yeah, like I said, if you're interested, I'll leave a link to our gaming channel down in the description box below, and I'll link the video in the cards if I can. And so yeah, we had a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun playing Animal Crossing. I'm having a lot of fun with this challenge, and getting off of work at a normal time pretty early in the evening is making it so I have a lot more time in the evening to do stuff. And it's kind of weird because as much as I'm enjoying having that extra time in the evening to wind down, I'm having like the mental problem of having work that I normally wouldn't have had on my desk waiting for me till the next day. I am the type of person that likes to clear my desk as much as possible before leaving the office for the day, and that's kind of why I work the hours that I do. And with me not being able to do that, I'm not able to kind of leave the work when I clock out. Do you know what I mean? I'm like constantly thinking, okay, I've got to do this tomorrow. I've got to do this. I have 10,000 lists of things so that I remember that I need to either finish something that I had started working on before I had to clock out, or, you know, have other things that I still need to get accomplished, which I normally would have finished before I left work for the day. It's a big change for me. And so we'll see how things go in the coming week, but I am enjoying having a little bit of extra time in the evening. But work is really like, it's draining me. It's draining like all of my reserves. And so, plus I'm not quite like unjet lagged yet. I kind of feel like my hours are still like off. And it's one thing when you're traveling, you know, from say the East Coast to the Pacific Coast, or the West Coast, but it's a completely different thing when you're traveling from Hawaii back to the West Coast, because they're behind as opposed to being forward. Like traveling from the East Coast to the West Coast is the better option because you're ahead. But when you're traveling from Hawaii to the West Coast, it takes a toll. And I feel like the older I get, the harder it is for me to bounce back. And so, yeah, I'm almost there, I think. I'm like still like an hour. I've got like an hour to try to make up, because I'm not able to like get to sleep or get tired when I normally have my normal like bedtime. So I'm like an hour after, which really now, especially with my work schedule cutting in half an hour earlier, is like shortening up a lot the amount of time that I do actually get to sleep. So big adjustments since I've been back, but it'll get better, I think. I'm trying to be optimistic about stuff, but there's just a lot of stuff, a lot of changes, a lot I'm not used to, and I'm just trying to navigate it the best I can. But new yarn, enjoyable reads, and a fun read along and knit along, I think, is what I need for this month. I had planned on trying to participate in Spookopalathon. Normally I do the Camp Crystal Lake readathon, but this year it's a little different. It's more of a bingo board style. And just with everything, all the changes and stuff, I don't think I want to participate in a readathon. I'm enjoying what I'm reading. I know what I want to read, and I think that's the way I want to go, or the way I need to go to continue to, you know, knock off the reads and have enjoyable reads at that, because I really want to read certain things, which is a good thing. It's not often that I get struck with the, oh, I really want to read that type of feeling. But I feel like I have it now. Like there are things this month that I do want to read. So we'll see how many of those I get to. But I don't want to jinx myself by like participating in Spookopalathon and getting prompts that I'm not going to be able to read the books that I want to read for. Plus, I've kind of been really thinking about the whole like readathon thing, and how I'm trying to find things to fulfill prompts that I don't necessarily want to read, and how that's really kind of messing with me. So I think even though I really want to participate in either the Spookopoly-thon or Camp Crystal Lake readathon, readathons this month, I'm just going to step back and just enjoy just reading without challenges or prompts or any of that. I love the like community aspect of participating in a readathon, but I think for everything that's going on with me right now and how my reading's been and how many like 3-star reads I've had, I really need to like do this for myself, and so I'm going to. And you know, these are kind of the best months of the year for me, with all of the Halloween vibes, and then we get into Thanksgiving vibes and all of those good foods, and then Christmas, and this is like the kind of the year, part of the year where I'm happiest. Plus temperatures, even though they'll still be hot throughout October normally and into November usually, I'm going to start seeing a decrease in temperature. So even though it's 90 now, it should start decreasing in the foreseeable future. Like I can see the light at the end of that tunnel, and so I'm looking forward to it. And I'm really enjoying, like I said, the Halloween vibes. We haven't watched any Halloween movies yet, but we do have intentions on doing so. And so I think that's pretty much all where I'm going to leave you for today. So let me know down in the comments below what you've been reading, what you've been working on, and what you've been up to. I would really love to know. Are you participating in any readathons? Are you going to check out this read along, knit along? And if you are, let me know, because I'd love to know what your sock pattern that you're going to be working on is, if any, and what your yarn looks like. And if nothing else, and you'd just like to let me know that you're here, if you could leave me a ghost emoji for the season, that would be greatly appreciated, and it would really help me out, and that will do it for me today. So I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're all safe and healthy. And until next time, take care and smile always. Bye.